Hello. Welcome once again to the African Tech Gurus. And this, we are doing the variable. Now we are solving the task today. Yes, let's get here. This is what we are covering today. Variables, if, else, and while. So this is what we are doing today. Let's get into it. I don't want to go deep in doing this, but I believe you have watched our previous video that talk about all the resources we've talked about, explain how each and everything works. And if I believe in one point we might not have done everything, but we have done something to explain what we are to do in this particular task. And also you have watched our quiz video, which we explain how each of these answers comes in. Yes. Let's come to now the first question. Task: positive anything is better than negative. So first of all, first thing first, let's have our terminal. Let me clear my terminal. Yes, okay, let me open this one in another new window so that I will be able, yes, like that, have it like that, and then have this like this, so that it will be by side. So first of all, we have been asked to create a positive anything than negative nothing. Okay, let's first of all, let's check what we have. Do we have anything? No. Let's see the root. Yes, ls. Yes, we have it. So since we have lx low programming, that's what we need. lx dash low programming. That is what we are. That is our repository that we are working in. I believe so. Let me check. Yes, we are working on this particular repository. So inside that repository, we create a directory called this one. So we are supposed to create a directory called that name. So I will advise you to copy the name so that to avoid typo errors. So I will say mkdir, that is make a directory. We are making a directory with the name, that one. So that is the name of the directory. And then we click on enter. So we list file. We will understand that we have another new directory called 0x variable if else while. So yes, let's continue. What next inside that one? Next is that first of all, don't ever forget to create a readme file. Don't, I repeat, don't ever forget. It will not check. So let me create a readme file. So vi readme.md. Yes. And then inside that one, I will copy the name of this particular task and have it. I will copy the name of this particular task as the title, as the readme file. I will not add a lot of things. Let me have it like that. I'm sorry. Okay, this one is not. Escape. First of all, I open the readme. I have to create mine, which I have to cd into a particular repository. In this case, it's our repository here, 0x01. That one. So that is our directory. So where are we? bwd, to know where we are. We are inside a directory called this one. So now that's where now we can create a readme file. Let me show you. So that is my explanatory. Yes, you can see where we are. So let me say vi readme.md file. I wrote it waiting. Yes, so here. Yes, now we are here. So let's have this one as our readme. What will be contained inside our readme? Paste. So I have that text in a readme file. I don't need a lot of things. Let me just leave it like that. I quit. So now when I list file, you will notice that I have a new file called readme inside a directory 0x01 variable if else while. That is inside that directory we have a new file called readme and we have a text in it. It should not be empty. And then outside the directory also you will notice we have a readme for a repository. We need to have a readme for our old repository and also have a readme for a particular directory we are working on for today. So now that we have created that one, now that we have created that thing, let me just git add. I want to push this one to know if there's any changes. Yes, git commit. In this case, I will say readme file. Like that. And then I git push. Yes, so it has pushed. So next thing is that after we created that readme file, what comes next is that we have to create a file called positive or negative. This is now our task. This is how we have our task. So let me clear my terminal, webterm. So clear. Sorry, that is not the case. So clear. So I have cleared it. So I have to create a file vi. I create a file called positive or negative, like that. And then I enter. So this is now where we write our code. Click I to go to insert mode. This is where we'll write our code. And writing our code is that we are creating a file which will do what? Which will create a program that assign a random number to a variable n each time it is executed. Complete the source code in order to print whether the number is stored is n is positive or negative. Remember, you have been given a snippet of a code. You have been given some code here. So what you will do is click here, and then you will have a code like this. This is code you will use. This is the code you will use. You have been given a code, and then from there now you have been given a code. So from there now you can edit that code to say whether that particular thing is a positive or a negative. But in this case, I will not use this one, but I will show you where I've used. Let me just go back. Let me just come here. Okay, let me go back. How can I go back? Yes, so here we create a program that assigns a random number. So in this case, I will just copy what I have and then I'll explain to you. So this is the code that I have. Where is it? Here. So task 1. I have this code. I will copy this code, enter this code up to here. Then I explain to you. Copy. Then I have it here. After, when I'm done with this code and you're not getting it, please pause and then try to copy the code. So we have this code. Include stdlp, like this one. So this is what it is there. If you try to see here, you'll see that this is the same thing. This line is the same as my line. Okay, let me just have it like this, by side. So if you, this one is equal to this one is the same thing. I never added anything different except only stdio. So we come here, Mogo here, so nothing much on that. I will come to excuse me for that. So I'll come to where I begin, where I say your code enters here. Here, your code goes here. That is where my code, I included my code here up to here. So what you are seeing here is what I included extra. That is in between your code here up to return 0. So that's why I include. So I say if n is less than 0, print that number is print a space. This is okay. %d is a format specifier to specify as an integer. And then s string to say there's a negative. That is for string. It will print this one. So this one is a format specifier for this negative. This one is a format specifier for an integer. Yes. So if n is less than 0, anything less than 0 is a negative number. So tell display on the screen is a negative. Display the number first, and then displays a negative. And then else if the number is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, anything greater than 0 is positive. So print for us that number, that is %d, and the string is positive. Else %d, that number is 0. If it's not greater than 0, not less than 0. So automatically it will be 0. So that number, it will print for us 0. So this is the code that I added extra from what we have been given there. And then one thing you have to understand, Betty will always complain. Betty styling will always complain. It will give you an error. Why? If you don't specify this. If you don't specify this, please remember to specify this as it is. Why? Main, specify the main function here. Return what it will return. Please ensure that you do as like this. Unless Betty will complain. Now we are done with that. We are done with that particular code. We have come to the end of that code. So what next? Escape like this. Then what next is that if we want to check whether we have the right output or not, I will show you. Let's go here. There is what we have been given here. Run this one. Run this one to test whether positive or negative. So we'll come copy this like this, copy, and then I use it here and say paste, and then I click enter. So what you will see when I list file, you will see there's another new file created here. This is an executable file that will have to contain, what does it has to contain? It has to contain either a number like this, a negative, or a number this one is a post, a negative, or this one. So let's try and see. Dot this one, dot slash means that we are in the same directory. Dash, that is positive, okay, positive or negative, like that, positive or negative. What do we have? It gives us a number. It has given us a number, and they say it's a negative. So we have achieved that. So this one will not be testing every now and then. I will just rush, but that is how you test to ensure that if you want to test, you run the first GCC. You run the GCC you have been given. So that is to test that you will get an executable file and test whether your code is working as expected. So in this case, let's git add, and then wrong. Okay, git add again. I never space between I and dot. So space, then dot. Yes, git commit, and then I commit message. The commit message in this case, I will use this one. I will use this one. That's my positive. That is my commit message, like that. And then from there, I say git push. I push now to my GitHub. Yes, it has gone. Let's check our code now. Where is it? Oh, checker has not been released. It is still early in the morning. Checker has not been released, but in your case, you will check, and that it will give you it will give you the right answer. I promise. Yes, but for this case, for my case, it's still early in the morning. Checker has not been released, but that's fine. Yeah, it still works. That is the code. Let's go to the next one. Write a program, assign a random number to a variable n each time they execute it. Complete the source code in order to print the last digit of a number stored in variable n. You can find the source code here. So remember one thing, you also have the source code you have been given there. So this is the source code here. So what you do, you have this source code, and then you have your code from where you have been told your code will go here. But for my case, I will copy what I have, and then I explain to you where I included another different code from what we have been given. So let's clear our terminal. Clear. So what do we have? So we have to create a file. We have to create a file called what file is the file name? We are creating a file called last digit, like this. Copy. Then I use VI, that's the last digit, that is paste, like this, and then VI enter. Then what code will I click I to go to insert mode to allow you to type. So, and then in this case, I will give the code here. This is my code. This task 1 up to here. So I will show you where where is my terminal? Yes, here. So I paste here. So this is the code. Where my code begins, I will show you. My code begins where we have here. This is where my code begins from here up to here. So what I'm trying to explain is that last number is equals to n modulus 10. N modulus 10 means that if I have a number 12, for example, if I have a number 12, 12 modulus 10 is what is the remainder? What's the remainder of 12 divided by, okay, when I say modulus, like 12 divided by 10, how many remainder? It's only 2. If I say 13 divided by 10, modulus 3. Answer is 3. If I say 14 modulus 10, answer is 4. That is the remainder. Modulus tells our try to understand what is the remainder. So if the remainder is greater than 5, let me say so, then the last digit, you print that one, the last digit of a number. The last digit of that last number, we have a number here, last number, which you don't know. The last digit of that number is that number n and the last number. Then if last number is equal to 0, then you print and say that last number is that one. Yes, so that's what we are trying to test here. Okay, we are trying to test if it is greater than 5 or less than 5, greater than 6 or less than 6. Yes, and if it's not greater than 0. So if you are not seeing the code, let me believe this is it. Like this, it's now visible. Code is visible. Then escape. And then let me git add. Okay, I don't need to test whether it is this one. Okay, I don't need to test GCC again this time. I show you the first one and it is working, so I don't need to test all over. I'm just showing you, but the code is working. Yes. So let me go to git add, git commit, and what is our commit message? I'm giving my commit message as the same as this one, the last digit. Remember, I say it is still early in the morning. My checker has not been released. Sometimes don't worry when you don't see the checker. Know that it is released between latest by noon. So my case is still early in the morning, still not yet released. But that is the code I've shown you. I will still share part of the code in my description, if that will be necessary. Okay, let's go to the second one here. Write a program that prints alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. In this case, you have not been given a snippet. You have not been given any code, so you are building your own code. So what is the name of the file? The name of the file is this one. Copy, and then let me clear my terminal like this. And then what will I have? I will vi, and then the name of the file. That is, the name of the file is that one. Then I enter. Then I click on insert mode to go to insert mode to allow me to type my code. So I will not type all this code, but I will show you. I will paste here and then I will explain to you. Where is it? Okay, it ends here. It's short code like that. It's not that long. Paste it here. So I have the code like this. I have the code like this. stdio. This is the library. Then C type. Then remember Betty here. This is where error will come. Remember, this is Betty. If you don't write like this, it will give you an error. I will try as much as I can to create another video explaining how Betty works. I will create a new video to explain to you how Betty works, how to install Betty, and how Betty works. Please subscribe and hit on notification bell so that when we release a video about Betty, you will be able to get it. Yes. So that is int main void like this, int lowercase. So I'm saying an integer. Okay, this is now where worry is. Integer lowercase, but we are having a character. While lowercase is less than z, now you are worried. Int and it's lowercase and it is a character. Why is it character and we have an integer? Okay, here we're talking about ASCII. For the ASCII code, you will come to understand that for the ASCII code, there's something called the way ASCII code keeps. So we find that in ASCII code, ASCII table, I will ask you to research about ASCII table, or if I find it, I can give you the description. ASCII table will have A represented by 65 as integer. So A, small letter A, okay, is a small capital letter A is 65 and small letter A is 97. Yes, if I'm not wrong. So if it will say, if that lowercase it's saying now, it's like saying now int A is equals to 97. It's like saying that way. It's like saying int a is equals 97. So y, and then z is 122 if I'm not wrong. So it's like saying a is equals to 97 while a is less than 122, and then you print that character. Yes, so I think that is the full explanation. It is presented as numbers, that is why it's int. It is using the ASCII. So I quit like that, and then next is git add, and then git commit, and then the message is the git commit message. And then git push. Yes, so let me come to this other one. Okay, what have this? Which assignment are you doing? Okay, the print alphabet. It's okay. Let's come to the third one. This one. Copy, and then what you do next is vi, then that file name like this, and then insert mode, and then I will copy my code and explain. I will copy code and then I explain to you. Code ends here. Sorry, this one, no. Code, my code ends. Where is it? It ends here. Copy, have it here and explain to you. Yes, the same case. It's the same thing as what we did. Int lowercase a, that is, it is 97. Int uppercase a, that is 65. So if lowercase is less than set, if all lowercase is like a is less than 122, if lowercase is less than 122. So this one is like saying it is equal to 97, this one is equal to 122. So in as much as lowercase is less than 122, then you print that lowercase and then plus plus. While uppercase is less than set. So what you are trying to print is that printing uppercase letter and small case letters. So then print uppercase. So this one is, while this one is less than 97, then print. Okay, so then I believe I explain. And then git add. Okay, yes, git commit. Then I use this message, alphabet. That is yes. Let's clear terminal and go to the next question. The next question is write a program that print alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. Only alphabet in lowercase but in line, but except Q and E. So if it will find Q and E, it will not print. It will go to the next one. So how can that be possible? Let's create a file, this one. So I use vi, then the name of the file, that is paste there, like that, then integer, the insert, I'm sorry, and then I will copy the file, the code, and then I explain to you up to this far. Copy, then let me paste it here. Yes, I have the code. Remember Betty, it does look like this. And then int main void, and then int lowercase. So if this one is equal to 97, while this one is less than 122, I'm using ASCII here. Don't question why I'm using this one. I'm referring to the ASCII table, which I will paste you the link there. So lowercase e, if lowercase, if whenever you encounter instance of e and the instance of q plus 1, meaning move to the next character. Don't print that one, move to the next character, else print lowercase like that. I believe you understand now. If you encounter E or Q, it will move to the next character, it will not print that one, and then it print lowercase characters. It will print all up lowercase characters between A and Z except Q and E. I believe that is better explanation. Git add, git commit. So My checker I will check later in the day because checker has not been released for now, but I will check later when it will be released, and that is when I will check my checker to see whether my code has worked. So we are done with that. Let's go to the next one, number 5. Task 5. I copy, and then let me clear my terminal, and then I say what I will do is that I will say git, I'm sorry, not git, vi, and then I say the name of the file like that, then I enter. So we ought to write a program that prints a single digit number of base 10 starting from 0 followed by a new line. Remember, you're supposed to have an output like this when you run GCC. I'm not running GCC in this case, but you can run on your own to test whether you have the right output. You run GCC. You remember I did in the first task to show you how it works. Please do repeat the same thing. You run GCC and then you check another new file created and check what is inside that file. Yes, so we have done that. Let's have our code. Task 5. Like that. So I have that code like, so we have trying to understand. So int, you have a variable, I have declared a variable of type int, and then it is num. So while num is less than 10, it will print that number. That is, this is when you see %d, it's a format specifier for a number. So number and then plus. So you are adding 1. If it is less than 10, you print that number and then you add 1 to that number. So that number, if that number was 0, if that number was 0, it will add 1, it will be 1. It will go up there. Okay. Is it still less than 10? Yes. Print that number and add 1. It is now 2. Go back to that number. Is it less than 10? Yes, it is 2. Print that number, which is now 2, and then add 1. It will go again 3. Then print that number, add 1. It will print 4 in that order until the number is now less than 10, is now greater than 10. So it will now exit. So I believe now that's okay. And then I git add, git commit. Guys, don't ever worry. If you do the assignment early in the morning too and you find that there is no checker, don't worry. Know that checker will be released by 12 noon. Git push. So clear my terminal, I go to the next task. Where is my next task? My next task is number 6, task 6. So I VI that task name. Then I go to I, that is insert mode. Guys, don't forget, Betty will always complain if you don't do what is expected. You must, okay, I will try, as I promised, I will come up with a video explaining about Betty. So please stay tuned. So I paste this code here and then I'll try to explain. This is Betty, this main function. In the main function, I declare a variable. I create a variable with this one, that's declaration, and then I use a for loop, that is for. And then what do? I initialize that variable with 0, and then I give a condition. That number will always be less, it has to be less than 10. And if it's less than 10, add one number. In as much as it's less than 10, if you add number, that number. So if it was 0, I add 1, it is 1. Is it be still less than 10? Yes. So also add 1, it will be 2. Check again, less than 10? Yes. Add 1, it will be 3. Is 3 less than 10 again? Yes. Add 1, it will be 4. 4 less than 10? Yes. Add 1 until you get a number that is greater than 10. Then in as much as you increment, write that number. Write that number. Modulus that number. So that is the explanation. Then we git add, and then we git commit. Guys, if your code does not work, please let me know. Please let me know in the chat, or we can just chat me on the WhatsApp. I will provide the link to my WhatsApp group. If in case it doesn't work, please do it on the WhatsApp group. feel free to join my WhatsApp group. I will provide the link in the description. Feel free to join our WhatsApp group. Git push. So we git push. We have a description. Yes, that is done. Let's clear and then go to our next task. So this one, write a program that prints a lowercase alphabet in reverse. Now we are printing alphabet but in reverse, in a reverse order. We are printing alphabet between Z, that is from Z to A, VI, and then what we do is that file name, then inside it click I to go to insert mode, and then I will copy the code and explain to you. Okay guys, I will not write all this code here because it will take much time, but I will try to explain each and every concept that I have used here. So here is the code. The code is character letter. Then that is I've declared a variable. Then to initialize, letter will be Z, but in as much as letter is greater than A, letter Z is equal to 122. In as much as letter A is 97, while this is 122, in as much as it is greater than 97, decrement that, let's call the post decrement, decrement that number. So we'll have 122, decrement, it will be still greater than 97, decrement again, you'll have 120, less than 97, decrement again until we get to 97 or until we get something less than 97, and then we'll stop printing, and then we'll print all the letters between Z to A. That is it. That is in a reverse order. That is git add, git commit, git commit. Which is the commit message? I will use this one. Git push. I will git push like that. So that is done. Let's go to number 8. Write that program that print all numbers between 16 in lowercase, followed by a new line. So what's the file name? This one. Hey guys, this video is being long, and I never wanted it to be that long. But anyway, we'll just do it as it is. Yes, so we have write a program. I have a code already. Yes, so I am sorry, I just pasted code and never explain. Let me explain. Okay, we have bet here. Int, we have a variable num, we have a variable character letter. Then this one, you're initializing this one to 0, and then it's less than 10, and then increment. I believe you understand this from the previous explanation. You have understood this. Then for letter is equal to A. Letter is less than F. That is for hexadecimal numbers. We have 0 to 10. From 11, okay, 0 to 10. No, 0 to 9. After 0 to 9, instead of saying 10 in hexadecimal number, we say A. Instead of saying 11, we say B. Instead of saying 12, we say C. Instead of saying 13, we say D. Instead of saying 14 or 15, 15 has to be F. Yes. So, in as much as letter is less than F, letter increment. So, it will print that number. It will print like this one. 0 to 9, and then A, B, C, D, F. That is until to F. Then it print the character. So it print all numbers up to 9. That is the first for loop, and then the second for loop it also print A, B, C, D to E to F. And then that is it. I will use this one as commit message. I'm very sorry. If you ever encounter this error, know that you have not added So what I will do, I will add git add. I failed to add, so git commit now. This time around it will work. Yes, it has worked. Git push. Yes, so let's come to this one also, number 9. That is task number 9. Task number 9. Let me clear my terminal. Like I'm here. Clear my terminal. It is too much. So I come here, vi, then the file name, like that. So insert mode, like that. Then write a program that write possible combination of single digit. Number must be separated by comma followed by space. Number should be printed in ascending order, that is from 0 to whatever number that is. Then number should be printed in ascending order, should use put car function, all should have main function, code should be in main function. Yes, so you should have to give us something like this. You need to give us something like this. So what we do, we write a code. Then we have code for this. We paste it here. Explanation. Int is equals to this one. Well, this one is less than 9, like this. Int is equals to 0, like that. And it's in the form of string. While this one is less than 9. What do? You say that put car, you print that number. And then if that number, in as long as it is not equal to 9, this one means it's not. This one is not. If it's not equal to 9, what you put car a comma, because it say that must be separated by a comma. So you print that comma, and then you print now space, that is space between that number and the other number. And then you increment, pre-increment, and then you print a new line. I believe that is well explained. Yes, so git add. Don't forget to git add, git commit. If you forget to git add, it will always give you an error. That is, where is the git message? What is the git commit message? I will use this one as the message. Git push. Yes, we are successful, guys. We have done up to number 9. I will do in the next video the advanced task. But up to that, we are done. Please follow us. On the description below, we shall provide the WhatsApp group link. Join the WhatsApp, ask as many questions as you want. We will try as much as we can to answer your question. Yes, we'll provide that. So thank you guys for being patient this far. Try in your end. Try write the same code and see how it will work. I've explained to you how it happens. Try on your end. Please ensure that you understand the concept. Let us not just copy. Let's just understand the concept. Bye-bye.